Welcome back to the secret world of human trafficking. I'm your host, David J. Story. I'm also the author of the Omega book series. Today, we have an inspiring guest, Renee Jones, a dedicated family therapist and advocate who has transformed her life through overcoming unimaginable challenges, from surviving human trafficking and domestic violence to become a community leader and author. Renee shares her journey of pain, perseverance, and purpose. Join us as we explore her story, her work in prevention and education, and her mission to help others find their way to healing and empowerment. This is a conversation you won't want to miss, an honest, heartfelt account of turning trauma into triumph and making a difference in the world. Welcome to the show, Renee.
Okay, first, let me thank you, David, for this wonderful opportunity. I really appreciate you all listening and joining in. So, again, thank you. I am Renee Jones. I am a family therapist, mental health family therapist, and I love what I do. I rather work with kids than work with adults. I'm going to tell you, I do. I'm also an advocate as well for human trafficking and DV bullying. My facility and my business is in community counseling here in the state of Florida. I am also in the fifth jurisdiction circuit of court, so they're known there. I offer several programs. I offer batteries intervention for men and women for domestic violence, anger management. I offer counseling skills, groups. I offer parenting skills, everything that surrounds a family all in one. My program is a wraparound facility, meaning so you have someone that needs to come to outpatient. They're an outpatient 4 days a week for 2 hours. Well, outpatient is on one side of the street. Domestic violence on the other side of the street. Somebody else got to go over there for a drug screen. Then you got so I have it set up now where I have several people on my team, and we are offering everything in one facility that we can offer. There will be no excuses. So I love what I do. I'm also a grandmother, and I love my grandchildren, and I'm working with them. My son told me I was working with them like their clients. No, I'm just teaching them prevention skills. Giving them awareness points on what to do, what to look for, because this is a different day and time right here for our kids. And it's really serious. The area in Florida I live in is very high in human trafficking. And we getting a lot of pedophiles, and they don't mind. They go in at the task force and get them and bust them out, and they don't mind posting them on Facebook and different things. So I noticed that there's a lot of us. So one of my goals is to help educate the families and the children in the schools in order to know what to do and what not to do. Some of that stuff that back in the day is gone. When they come up and say, would you like to see my puppy? Would you like a piece of candy? They do it so slick and different now. So one thing that I do work with the sheriff's department as well. And I also train. So I have a lot of different trainings that I offer, which would be human trafficking awareness and prevention, domestic violence awareness and prevention. I offer mental health assistance. All these are trainings, but right now I am working on one of the best ones that is called crisis intervention with the sheriff's department. Crisis intervention for them to understand and know the victim. Normally what they do, they go in and they have one person on their mind they're going to get. And they're going to get that pedophile. They're going to get that predator. They're going to get the man who's beating the wife, or they're going to get the drug dealer. They have one person in mind that they already know who they're going to go in there, bust the door down, and attack. But what happened to the victims? Where we are, we're left there in a circle, crying, don't know what to do. Yeah, they give us a card. They say, call the awareness department. We have domestic violence shelters. But do we really do that? No, we don't. So my goal is to help them and educate the sheriff's department on what to look for. Here's some more information. Here's other things that I feel that the sheriff's departments in all states should be offering and have in their cards with them for victims. And a lot of times, yeah, they may take them to a safe place or take them to a safe house. They may take them to the hospital. And my story going to be a prime example of that later on when we get into it. But right now, I am working on educating the sheriff's department, let's just say law enforcement, educating law enforcement on what the victim feels. What do we feel? What do we think? What do we see? How are we getting taken care of? How do we get started? So I'm doing all of that as well.
Yeah, it doesn't end for them when they drop them off at a home or anything like that. There's a
No,
lot to do after that. There's a
yeah,
lot of
but
emotional.
yeah, and the thing about that, we don't know what to do. No one really told us what to do. They don't give us the directions. People always say, including law enforcement, the teachers, the community, oh, let us know if you need help. We're here to help. But what does help look like? And for us, and when I say us, please know, you guys, I am talking about someone like me. I'm a survivor of human trafficking. So I am speaking, I'm part of that us. I'm a part of that me too. I'm a part of that team. And for me to be the one to speak out, if I don't do nothing but help one person, I've done something. So this is why I'm going to make them know that it's a us thing. So right now, what I'm doing, I'm finished with school with a master's degree. I am now in the community, in the state, advocating, going door to door, working with mental health, working with human trafficking survivors, working with domestic violence, and also I'm latching into the court system and the law enforcement.
Very good, very good. It sounds like you stay busy.
I do, and I love it because it's something that I believe in. This is not a job. People are like, oh, but you going to work. This is not a job. It wasn't a job when I was back there in the day getting beat and being locked down. This is a career for me. This is my life I'm talking about. This is not a fairy tale. It's not a story. It doesn't have different episodes. Well, I guess it do have different episodes, but it's my life. It's a true story. It's exactly what I saw and experienced in my own world. I also tell people, you know what? I lived two lives in one lifetime. I lived the street life, and now I'm living the normal, supposed to be normal, educational, the way that the world and want to see us interact and do things as people. So I had a chance to know what it's like to be out there in the streets and have a chance to know what it's like to wine and dine and with the best people on the earth sometimes. So yes.
You had a rough life growing up. Tell us about your family.
I have 12 sisters. There's 12 of us. And there's 12 of us all in one home from my mom. And then I also had stepsister and brothers. That was a part of the family, and they stayed close and lived with us as well. Uh, my mom, who just recently passed at 97, she passed
Mm,
in December 25. And my dad did a wonderful job trying to raise us the best that they can. All of us, the ones that's still alive, are in some type of profession. My baby sister is Dr. Lauren Ward, and she's in Alabama. Then I have my sister who owns a security company, and I have my brother who owns three daycares in Texas. My family was go-getters, but in the beginning, we were protectors, we were fighters, we were hustlers, we were um, cool, slick, and smooth. We always had to try to find a way to get something that made us feel better. The girls was looking for love in all of the wrong places, and the guys was trying to find where they fit in and let's do whatever. So Then as time went on and we grew up and we started understanding, I was the last in the bunch to really figure it out, but that's okay. That's okay. It took me a long time to figure it out. Everyone else, they went on ahead and figured it out, went to school, went to college, did what they had to do and start things. Me, I wasn't quite done. I wasn't quite done trying to understand, who am I? Where do I belong? Why do things happen this way? I've also have three sons, one in Las Vegas, one in Arizona, one in Philly, and they have their own families and they doing well. But however, we have to remember that when we go through something, we're taking our families with us. So my sons went through the trials and tribulations and the mishaps just as well as I did. We separated when I was out there and when I'm in the world and when I was sold to the highest bidder and different things, and they was with their grandmother. My baby boy doesn't really remember much. He came in on the part when I was using drugs.
Mm.
That's when he came in. My other two, the oldest two, they knew or heard from family members, oh, your mom is out there in the world, she's doing this, she's doing that. Or they thinking I can just leave, or I'm selling myself, or I'm prostituting, or I'm doing this. They never really understood how this worked. And that's one of the reasons I do what I do, because people don't know. They their favorite line of words is just stop, just get out, just leave. And
It's
it's
not
not
that
that
easy.
simple. No, it's
No.
not. It's not that easy. It's
That's what
not.
a lot of people think. You can just walk away from that life,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
it's hard. I'm sure.
It is very hard, and it's dangerous. That's the main thing. It's dangerous. I was left for dead a couple of times. I watched someone kill someone in front of me for them to prove that, hey, they're not playing games. You know, I was from Cleveland, Ohio to New York City, and every other stop. The golf tournaments, I was there. Super Bowls, I was there. And I'm not talking about there enjoying the games. I'm talking about there working,
Hmm. Yes, that's
working.
where a lot of trafficking is, at these big events, Super Bowls,
Yes.
World Series, all these. Whenever a city has a big event, you know, prostitution comes in, trafficking comes
Hmm.
in, drugs come in,
Hmm.
because there's a high demand.
Very, very high demand. And you don't, it's so hard to believe the ones that look for this, ones that you would think and highly respect as going to a $25, $30 hotel for an hour, hour and a half to come back out, and you wonder why. Why? But it's out there. And it's underground. There's a lot of underground stuff out there as well. Yeah, I've done it all. I've done it all. I remember when I had to dress up but they kept me dressed up. I went from the streets to leaving the streets and riding with someone in New York and didn't realize that this person had sold me. And I was
Yeah.
locked in this basement in this room with no windows, no nothing, with three other ladies in New York for, I don't know, it's hard. I've been to court, been to trial, we did a whole lot. I can't even remember how long. You asked me, I was down there for years. Could have been days, could have been hours, but it was terrible. Never seen that person. I don't even know where that person is at. I don't know if they killed him. I don't know what happened. But I do know at one point in time in my life, I remember being in New York around a lot of people. And I remember I see the police officers, I saw everyone in suits, and my mind would just say, help me, help me. Do you see me here? Help me, get me out of this. I don't know what to do. But I couldn't take it, I couldn't get it out of my mouth. I couldn't open my mouth to say it, you know. So my sons, my two oldest sons, had a chance to read my book. The mom ain't teach me that. They did. You know what? I'm pretty sure they read the book. Let me just put it to them like that. And I remember and know that for a long time they had shut down because they was blame me and everything. And but today I am so blessed. I am so blessed. Today they are my best friends. We talk about everything.
That's
When I
good.
say everything, I mean everything. My baby boy, he's 32. 32. He'll call me like, "Ma, this going on, that going on, what I need to do." And I'm like, "Oh my God, man, that's personal. You need to tell me that. But you're my mama. You ought to know." And, so I'm always they call me about girl advice. They call me about life advice. So we're very, very close now. And they gave me
That's
beautiful
good.
grandchildren. So I love that. And I'm just, I'm just at the point in my time that I don't think everybody's getting the right information. They looking up things on Google, they hearing other things, or they're only going to believe what the press tell you, and the press do not tell you everything.
No, the
They give
press
you
is
just
always
enough
one
info.
side or the other.
They just give you just enough information to keep tuning in. So that's I just want people to understand and know the truth, you know. And that's my job. That's what I'm doing. That is my career. That is my life. Yeah.
Well, you were married for a while.
Yes. I
That
married my
didn't
two oldest sons' dad.
mhm. That didn't go too well, did it?
No, no, that didn't. I think it was, no, I don't think I know. First time I've had sex, I got pregnant. My mother found out I was pregnant. Back then, if anyone worked for Ford Motor Company, they had money. Back
Hmm.
then, they had money. If you worked for Ford Motor Company back then, you had money. So his dad worked for Ford Motor Company. He was getting ready to work for Ford Motor Company. His dad got him on because he was a supervisor. They was making money. Beautiful home. Everything was gorgeous. And these are the signs that we miss, man. Some of the signs that we miss. We think we really walking into a healthy, exciting, beautiful family, beautiful home. You got money. Everything is going on. This is great. You know. My mom said, "No, you're gonna marry him." And listen, I didn't even know the man's last name. All I know is we left. We went in the basement in Cleveland, Ohio, of my mother's home, had sex. I ended up getting pregnant. Then when I told him about it, his dad made him go to the military instead of working. So he didn't go at first. We were together. We got married. Within 3 months of marriage is when the abuse started. Within 3 months of marriage, he moved me way far out from family and friends. I didn't work. He was working for Ford Motor Company at that time. And every little thing I did wrong, I was beaten for. I was beaten for it. And I remember and know that it was times where he had beat me so bad that my two sons was at the doorway just watching, and all I could see was out the corner of my eye. I knew my sons was there, but I was so messed up with black eyes and busted nose. He cracked my jaw, my ribs was cracked. He he did a number on me. And
Hmm.
that next day is when I got up. I left my sons, and I was on the number 15 bus in Cleveland, Ohio, going down to the Justice Center. All I felt, because I couldn't see it, all I felt was people staring and whispering at me. Dry blood was on my face, my eye was busted, my jaw was busted, I couldn't talk, my nose was messed up, couldn't hardly walk. But the strength and the way that I prayed and asked God to get me down to the Justice Center so they can see me like this and press charges so I could leave this man, I had to do it. I had to do it. And that was the most humblest experience I ever had because people don't help. They're afraid to help and step out. They use that you see something, say something. Yeah, they saw me, but they said something, but they said something to each other. The bus driver did help. He did ask, did I need any help or whatever. But he took me straight down there and I went to the Justice Center. He was arrested. He was charged. He went to court. He got out. Everything was good. I don't know how much money his daddy paid off or what he did. Then he went to the military. So we still married. I'm in my own little place now, apartment with my 2 kids. Because he wanted me to come to the military. I want to say Fort Gordon, Georgia, Fort something. And I went. I went there with him. And it was like a dorm. It's like a room in this a building with a dorm, like apartment set up, that little thing. Except I remember we had to go down the hall to shower, and they had a big old shower place and different things like that. We was right on campus or on base. So it was a lot. But this is what did it. My firstborn, when we went there, my firstborn, my son was crying. He wouldn't let me get him. He was 8 weeks old. He was in his weeks because I wasn't supposed to travel at 6 weeks. So he said, you're coming at 8. So I remember that clearly. He picked my son up from his his little onesie he had on, and dropped him on the bed several times. And my baby just kept bouncing and hitting our hard bed. The beds was so hard and neat and clean, because that's what they trained them to do, I guess, that my son kept bouncing until he bounced and hit the wall. And then he said, when I come back, he better not be crying. He came back and he jumped me again and beat me and let my baby cry. Someone on that base called the MPs, and that's when he went to jail. And then I left. I went home. He was still in jail. He got out. He was in jail for some months. I mean, they don't play. But they didn't then. He was in jail for a long time. At least that's what I thought. Don't know. But I do remember I was at the bus stop and I was going somewhere. And somebody grabbed me from the back and they told me that they would kill me. And he took a knife and it's right here. And he slit my throat, but he didn't go all the way across. And I almost bled out. That's why I say he left me for dead. Then he dragged me and dropped me. Dragged me like, I don't know, it was like an alley or a side street. I don't know. And he left. And I didn't realize it was him until I was on the floor, on the ground bleeding, and looked up and saw him walking away.
Was your husband?
Yeah, a couple of
Your
weeks
husband?
later, yes, he was my husband at that time.
Hmm.
Because he told me that no one was going to have me. And he told me, he said, I told you I was going to kill you. And he thought he did. So that's when, over that, I was hospitalized for a couple months. And the divorce went very quickly. I had all kind of proof, and I had 2 sons, and I raised them. And that's how I did that. That's when I didn't know about domestic violence centers. I didn't know about advocates then. I didn't know that there was help for someone like me in that situation at that time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I didn't get it then. That's why I'm fighting so hard now.
Yeah, that's good. It's good that you're out there now fighting for people that coming from your background.
Yes. Yes.
Hopefully you can save them from what you had to go through.
Mm-hmm.
You got into a little drugs one time too, didn't you?
Yes, I did. After the divorce, everything settled. I'm in my apartment. Things were, and you know what? But before the drugs, this is what's crazy. Before the drugs, that's when I met this pimp. So it was domestic violence, and then it was human trafficking. Then it was the drugs. I didn't ever use drugs or do anything like that or drink during the time that I was being sold, being traded, had to prostitute. had to work the conferences, conventions, um,
Yes,
plays.
tell us about that working the big events and all like that. How did that work? How did that work?
The people, or yes, the people that had me at that time had us. It was several women, and at that time, they were some really big hitters, and they knew how to get into these special places and where to go because there's always a room or a big room where only like if the ticket costs five, six, $10,000, people go up there. So they would dress us up in some very high class clothes and jewelry and have us um, looking beautiful
Mm-hmm.
and told us what to do. And we go in and we sit at the bar, we crossed our legs, we walked around, we introduced ourselves. And later on in life during court, I realized that mostly every female there was working. I knew I was with the other three ladies that I was with, but I didn't, I thought everyone else was probably just business owners or their wives, but every female there was working. And they don't discriminate. It was a mixture of everybody there. And I used to look at them and I think she's too young. But we get in and we walk around and they would normally men come up to us or we go up to them and start a conversation. We knew what terms to use. There were certain terms at that time that you have to use or did use in order for them to know that it was safe and that you were okay. Um, and I mean the person who's going to pay for my time. So they knew all the lingo and how things were set up. It wasn't their first time. It wasn't their first time. And I remember going into a place and um, one of them, and it was so nice and never seen anything as fancy and wonderful and high class people before that day. And a gentleman would walk up to me, and he did. And he gave me his hotel key because it was some rooms, some places have hotels not far or attached to it. And gave me time to be there. And he leaves first. You don't leave until a certain time. Then you get some that just wanted the company, wanted to talk. Um, it was a lot of different acts and different things going on. Event was different. If they tell us we're going to an event, then they give us some information to learn and remember about that event to start the conversation. I'm not into sports, I think, because of that. And I have people in my family that play sports that's on the college leagues and different things and just been, well, I don't know what they call that, when they get out of college and go to the pros. I'm, I think a lot of things now I don't do because of what happened in my past. And so that's how normally that works. I remember one time I was at a hotel and something happened. Um, Something happened and the guy just gave me all his money. He got a phone call and it scared me. He got a serious phone call. And I didn't realize who he was until months later when they found him dead in his house. I'm not going to disclose the name,
No,
but I did not realize who that person was until then. But I always wondered, why did he leave me about $6,000 or $7,000? Who carries that kind of money with them?
not me.
Not me either. especially back then in that day, that time. And it wasn't, you couldn't even hide money. People would ask me when I did speaking gigs and I share my story, and it's, well, you should have just put up some of the money. Why you just hide it and keep it? No, no, because our pimps, and whatever you want to call them, they search every part of our bodies. It was a time that I knew I can roll up money real little. Like they used to do them old cigarettes when they rolled them up in little wire. Some of the people used it for weed. I used to roll money up real little, just roll. And I had a chance to stick it on my vagina. And that's how I was saved. But they searched that too. You're gonna come up off their money. And you're gonna make sure that what that price is, you get that in more. And if it's opportunity to take a ring, a bracelet, or a watch, take it. And I'm talking about some high class rings. And first time I ever seen a presidential Rolex, some type of Rolex, um, something I don't know. So did I get to
How
keep
much?
anything? Nope.
I was just about to ask, of the money that you collected, did you get any money for your services or whatever?
Nah, no, I had to give it, I had to turn it in. They were right there. Wherever I went or we went, trust me, they were right there. They knew what room we was going to be in. They knew who was going in there with. They knew who to go for. They would tell us who to go for. They knew who was who. And they all did this sitting in the car or on the other side of the room. And you never know who is who and who's watching who or who's going to tell on who. You just don't know. And I'm pretty sure that it was some people that was on his team that, or however they put it, in that room watching us.
They probably had hidden cameras in there.
They had everything. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. The day we got busted and I went, they took all of us to jail, the girls and everyone in that whole place. In New York City. Now, New York, I don't know, I haven't been in jail since this. They used to have it where one big room, I don't care if it was jewelry thieves, stick up boys, drug dealers, pedophiles, pimps, prostitutes. Everybody was all in one room, one cell rather, not room, one cell. And they would call you in court 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 6 in the morning, 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, and different times back then. I remember going to court and they called me and I just broke down and cried. I told the judge, I just want to go home. I do. I don't care what you'd ask me. I would tell you what I just want to go home. I just broke down. I couldn't talk. I was so done. And I told myself, if I don't speak up and beg and ask for help now, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. Because I was scared to speak up and ask for help out outside of the courthouse. And then honestly, I had some judges and lawyers and public defenders as well. These are people who supposed to protect us and help us, but they also was my clients.
Hmm. You never know who to turn to because they they may even know your pimp or your
Yeah,
handler or whatever, and
yeah.
they could say, "Hey, Renee's come to me and wanted out." And so,
But
yeah, that
I did what I had to do, and I was expedited back and forth from Cleveland to New York and to trial and different things. They showed pictures of who is who and all this stuff, and asked about these girls. One of them was dead. I told them they killed her. They killed her in front of us, and I don't know what they did with her body because she tried
can't
to
even
hide
tell them.
money. Yeah. So now not that part. Now when I get out of that, I go home, I'm trying to get my life together, I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know any skills. I didn't know what to do. This is what I'm telling you. They would tell us everything is okay. We got our cases closed. You don't do no time. Why should I do some time? I've been in jail enough. I went to jail. Probably went to jail 30 sometimes in this process. I'm going to say about that. Okay. So why should I go to prison? Because of everything. But I didn't. I didn't have to go. Everything was done. Everything was over. But no one told us what we need to do now. The world looked so different to us. The world and the people were so different. Things were so new. It was more fresh. It was like we didn't see anything but what we had to do. And no one knew what to do. I didn't know what to do. In my mind telling me when I went home, I went to my mom's and my mom was afraid of me. She didn't know what I may do or how things may go and if somebody gonna come to her house because it was a big old thing. So I couldn't stay there. And by the time I end up trying to get myself together, I'm trying to figure out what do I do now? The only thing I know how to do is sell. And that's myself. That's
Mm-hmm.
the only thing I know how to do. So my mind told me this time I can do it for myself.
Mm.
That's what we think because we don't know nothing else. We programmed.
You have no
We
other
programmed.
skills.
No, we scared. We programmed. We isolated. It's a lot. It's a freaking lot. And I didn't know anything else. I did for a little while, and then it hit me that maybe I could work in a bar. So I went and worked in a bar, and that's what working in that bar is how I end up getting used to drugs. And people always would say, "Oh, think that you're the only one here that don't get high, smoke, snort. You don't do nothing. You shoot up. What do? You don't do nothing." And that's why I was the one that was more valuable. And they didn't try to give it to me because I didn't try to run. I didn't try to do anything because I was scared to death. They put that in me. They programmed me. They put that in me. I didn't smoke cigarettes. I wasn't the one that had to do a whole lot. I was the one that they groomed, and I had to go and groom someone else and bring them back.
Wow.
So let me put it that way. Yeah. But then when that was over and everything ended, I worked in a bar, and while I'm working in this bar, my brother-in-law came to me and said, "Hey, you can make extra money over the bar. They love you in here because I have that personality. I have that
Mm-hmm.
look. I never look my age. I never look my age. You would believe I would. I never look my age. I always look younger than when I am, and I'm 67 now. So I never looked my age. So my brother-in-law told me what to do. So I started selling dope over the counter. You order Remy, and you can order some drugs as well. And that went on for a long time. And then I went from selling $20 bags, $10 bags, selling bags and working until I went to selling keys, thousands of dollars amount, and went from having two or three people working for me. Then it was a big bus at my house. Well, before the big bus, the police or special agents, the narcotics, all of them came to my house. They was all surrounded. It was crazy because they was looking for this one person, which I know who they were looking for. In his last place he was there was at my house, but he wasn't there. He had left. Um, I think they were looking for him for murder and some other stuff, but he wasn't there. And they kept an eye on me. They kept an eye on the house. I don't know, but I kept going to work. I didn't even know that they was watching me. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know they was watching me until way later on when they showed me pictures. But that went on, and then somebody else who was working for me selling got busted. And then they called me, the police called, saying that they have this person.
Mm-hmm.
They from Detroit, and they were in Ohio at that time, and they wanted me to come and get the dog. I'm thinking this is a setup. This is a fucking setup. Excuse me. Oh my God, this is a setup. But I didn't know what to do, what to say. I went because I needed to see what was going on, and I knew where this person hid her stash. So I wanted to go and try to go into the home and go into where the stash was hidden and get it out before the police
Mm-hmm.
tear up everything looking for it. That didn't work for me though. That didn't happen. I pulled up. They made me outside. They wouldn't let me go in. I'm like, well, let me go in and let's make sure everything is good. They wouldn't let me go in. They wouldn't let me get out the car. They gave me the dog because she had a beautiful poodle that she
Mm-hmm.
paid a lot of money, thousands for. A beautiful, beautiful dog. So, they gave me the dog, and I kept the dog and stuff like that. But then here come a time now when I'm working, and I took and I think E&J bottles with me, and several people came to my home, and this was a regular Friday night thing. So this girl said, "I just met this girl, and I just said, come on, you can go, come on, hang out, you can go." And she came in, and she was smoking crack. So I would give her a little dope. I give her a little stuff, and she'd go in my kitchen and she cooked it. Give her some more. She'd go in my kitchen, she cooked it, and then she called me in the kitchen because I told she wasn't getting any more. She had to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my guys was like, "Don't go in that kitchen. Don't go in there, Ma." That's what they call me, Ma. Don't go in that kitchen. Don't go in there. Let's leave that alone. Why is she here? Who is she? I mean, they questioned me. They did not like the fact that this girl was in that house. They didn't trust her. So I went in the kitchen. When I went in that kitchen, I didn't come out that kitchen till February 14th, 2000. Let me tell you what I mean. She said, "Try this. Just inhale it. Just inhale it. Try it. It's good." And talk me into it. And I inhaled it. And I tried it. And I smoked up all my product, all my hidden product, and then had the gas collect and then collected some. It was terrible. It was terrible. My drug of choice was crack cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was smoking crack cocaine for a long time, until I got some help. And I remember I was in Birmingham, Alabama. This is in Cleveland, Ohio. I've been all over. I've been in New Orleans trying to save myself, get help, trying to figure out where I'm at. I've been to Boston doing the same thing. I've been to New York with the human trafficking. From New York, we went to Oregon. We went to Jersey. We went different places. They would fly us in and out going. I done went, then go back home to Cleveland. Now I'm doing drugs, and I've been to Birmingham, Alabama. That was the last stop. And that's where I end up going into treatment. And when I went to get into treatment, the lady said, "This is a 32-day program." I was ready. Okay, fine. But they put me out in 7 days.
Really?
They put me
Why?
out in 7 days because I was fraternizing. I told that lady, "I don't even know what fraternizing means." She said, "It's in your handbook. We gave you a book, you signed the papers." Because they had women on one side, men on the other side. My mindset, guys, listen, when we out there in the world, in the streets, our mindset be set to the point where all we know is the game. All we know is the hustle. All we know is when we see men, we can get money. That's all we think about. I wasn't thinking about I'm in a treatment facility. This person don't have no money. That didn't cross my mind. That did not cross my mind. Okay, it crossed my mind. He was cute, and I was gonna get him.
Mm-hmm.
But I was put out, and when I was put out, I went home and stayed locked in my room, and then stayed clean. I started going to NA and AA meetings. I started doing what was supposed to be done. I started following the program, the steps, and everything, and now I'm here. Now I'm here. So now I'm living a different world and a different life. There's no one that can tell me anything about the streets. I done been there. I done walked them streets. I done lived in them streets. I done hustled in them streets. I've done it all in them streets. And I had to fight for myself in them streets. So when I tell my little clients, because I have clients with kids and I love working with my kids, like I said, and I tell them, I got your back. I got your back. I will come for you. I am not scared. I have your back. Everything is in the wording. There's certain codes and certain words that you need to say to get through and get past a lot of stuff. So they trust that. My clients trust me. They trust that. And they
Because you've
know,
been there. You've been
yeah,
there.
yeah, and they know I'm not playing. I don't give a shit. Excuse me. I don't care. I'm going to find what I need to find. I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to save someone some kind of way, even if it's just giving you the information that I never had. But I have it now because I created it. I created the information.
You started a house for women?
I did. I Reconnection to Life Women's Center. We serve women returning to the community from the penal system. And it was really, it turned out really nice. I loved it. And I worked with again, probation and parole office. It was in Alabama, you know, reentry center. And women would come and they stayed there and they followed the rules. You get some that didn't follow rules, but the majority of them did. Then I opened up the second house, and that was really well. Everything went really good there, and it lasted 6 years until my PTSD popped up at me. Until I was triggered and things started popping up. Because see, I never got help for anything. I never went to counseling. I never saw a psychiatrist. I never got any help from being left from dead from my ex-husband, from in domestic violence. I never got help from human trafficking, being sold to the highest bidder. I never got the correct help that I needed for the drugs and alcohol. I never got any help. I kept moving. I covered it up. And all along, there was a little girl inside of me screaming to come out, screaming for help. And I
Well,
never did that.
a lot of these doctors don't know how to help because they never suffered like you did. I mean, the biggest suffering they may have had was they break a fingernail playing tennis at the country club.
Come on
You know,
now. Yes.
that's their
That's,
suffering. But
that's
you have the experience, and we need more people like you out there helping
it.
people.
Yeah.
And I think you're a great inspiration
So I
to
appreciate that.
me and everyone. In your other books, uh, you you got a lot of great points on how to prevent going, you know, how to safeguard yourself, your children. I like that. Tell us
Yes.
about your books.
My first book, I was in a fetal position crying and going through and feeling pain and just everything was hitting me. And I remember my sister, she's a doctor now, but I remember my sister telling me, why don't you write about it? Write a book, journal, take it out. And I did. We hired a publisher and I wrote the book. The title of the book is Mama Ain't Teach Me That. And it's at Barnes
Very
and
good book.
Nobles.
Very good. I
Thank you.
read it, and it's
Thank you.
it's a very good
Yes,
book.
it's mom ain't teach me that, and you know, and I thought about it later. I'm like, dang, I'm missing a lot of pieces in there, but that's okay. That's okay. That's where it's supposed to. That's I wrote it, and it's also on Amazon. Again, it's Mama ain't teach me that. Then my other book I wrote was human trafficking prevention for children, and
Hmm.
I tried to set that up with like a workbook as well
Yes.
for groups, for centers. for someone to use to journal. And I always tell my clients and someone, I always tell people, male, female, kids, boys, girls, they take them all. But I always tell them, if you can't grab anything else when you try to leave, grab a book, because whoever's behind you, whoever trying to stop you, they're not going to care if you get a book. They care if you get keys. They care if you get money. You know, they care if you get your cell phone. But if you grab that book and you can go somewhere for help, and you can go somewhere and figure out what's in that book that can help you, you'll be safe. You'll be safe. So that's another good one. Thank you as well for that. And another one is I called you and you didn't come. It's a I believe that's the name. I can't remember right now. But it's a law enforcement. It's based on the law enforcement and how they do things, and how the victims suffered a little bit, and that's also worked by. And my best friend, he's in that book because he's a police officer, and he was very dear to me and what I was doing, and very dear to the streets, and always took domestic violence calls and different calls like that. So I also put him in there to honor him, because I knew that I needed to do something for the law enforcement to understand and learn more on who's suffering and how they suffering and why they suffering. Now, them two books, really all books, you can find on my website, incommunitycounseling.com. In community counseling, just like in and out, incommunitycounseling.com.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
Good. And your first book, you had 12 guiding principles for recovery.
Yes.
I read those. Those are very, very good.
Thank
Very
you.
good principles. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you. I came up with them. That's something else that people we forget. That's like going back to the basics. You know, is the world has changed so much, but the answers are still in the beginning of the story. Go back to the basics and find out what you missed. And I wanted people to go back to the basics, start from the beginning. You cannot suffer and then say, I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow.
No,
Maybe somebody
didn't
can.
happen.
Yeah. You cannot suffer and be locked down and going through what I'm going through and think you're okay. You got to have something to hold on to. You have to have something to believe in. You have to have something to guide you through that process. I didn't have that, so I wanted to create that for the next person. It helped me, so I know it'll help you.
Very good. Very good books. I recommend them to anybody and everybody, whether you're going through what you went through, or you know somebody that's going through it, or you just want to have the information just in case. I highly recommend the 3 books.
Perfect. I thank you for that.
You have anything else you want to add?
Nope, I think I'm good. I put everything else in that I
That's
needed
good.
to.
That's great information. Very impressed with where you started and where you're at now. We need a lot more people like you.
Yeah.
And
Thank you. I would like to share. Let me share my contact information with you all.
okay, please do.
If you need a speaker, if you need a trainer, if you need someone to talk to, if you need workshop, if you just need to vent, you can reach Renee Jones at incommunitycounseling@gmail.com, or you can call 352-549-4866. 352-549-4866. So also on my website, any information, anything that you have, I'm here. I'm here to listen. I'm here to help. I'm here to guide. Most of all, I would like to come out to your state, to your city, to your conference, to your event, to share my experience, strength, and hope. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's it for our show for today. Thank you for joining in. I hope you were able to learn something today that may help you understand what is going on around you, allowing you to be aware of the dangers to yourself and perhaps a loved one, and maybe inspire you to get involved in the fight to stop human trafficking. Please follow me on Facebook, subscribe to my podcast, email me at davidjstory.com with your questions or comments. Music by tunereel.com. And please remember, always watch your six and others too.